back at Mall of America Field in Minneapolis, getting ready for Carolina and Minnesota. And an important game for these two teams just moments ago. A family affair. The Khalil brothers are playing on either side, and singing the national anthem was their sister, Danielle Khalil. An aspiring model and singer, Danielle Khalil. Her brothers there on either side of the field. Mom and Dad are upstairs in the stands watching. What a great feeling, Brian. See their family down there.
Always great to be a family affair. Combatants on the opposite side of the field with the sister in between.
Carolina deferred the kickoff by Graham Gano through the end zone for the touchback. Minnesota Vikings coming off a bye week, and Matt Castle, who played a terrific game, a mistake-free game in London 2 weeks ago, gets the start again today.
And that was the key for Minnesota. There was an efficiency in the passing game, a certain explosiveness in the passing game that had not existed in the previous weeks under Christian Ponder.
The two backs, the fullback Jerome Felton playing his second game after a 3-game suspension. Blitz coming, and Castle rolling. And his pass is complete. Complete to Jerome Simpson up to the 30-yard line, a first down. Nice move by Castle getting away from the blitz. How about the key players for Minnesota, Brian?
Obviously, Adrian Peterson, this offense runs through him. He's loved having his security blanket, Jerome Felton, back. Kyle Rudolph and Greg Jennings, obviously the focus of the passing game. Jennings only had 3 receptions against Pittsburgh and London, but 2 of them were touchdowns.
First down, Vikings. Adrian Peterson gets about a yard on the play. Carolina on defense. They've been strong.
Well, the front 7, they're counting on pressure from the outside by Hardy and Johnson. Luke Kuechly obviously holds the linebacking core, one of the best complete linebackers in the game, and Quentin Michael will reassert himself into the starting lineup. This secondary of the Carolina Panthers has been in transition the last few weeks.
Out of the shotgun with 3 receivers to the right side. Castle sends everybody out and throws for the tight end, who's broken up. Thomas Davis with a good play. The pass intended for Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph was behind Davis. Looked like he had a step on him, but Davis recovered well. The head coaches are really good friends. Ron Rivera and Leslie Frazier, they played together on the championship Bears team in 1985.
And something's going to give here with Minnesota. 8 straight TDs scored in the first quarter, and Carolina hasn't allowed one. So this quarter, something's going to give.
Toby Gerhardt is in the backfield, picks up the blitz. Castle throws to Rudolph, completes up to the 46-yard line. Good block by Gerhardt on Captain Munnerlyn.
Well, uncharacteristic, you're going to see Captain Munnerlyn coming off the edge. These aren't teams that particularly like to pressure, but they're trying to change the rhythm of Matt Castle. He had plenty of rhythm here, moving in the pocket under the pressure, and obviously if you bring somebody, it's going to leave a hole in the secondary. He found Kyle Rudolph in that hole.
Castle played 4 years in New England, 4 years in Kansas City, then signed with the Vikings. Handing to Peterson, trying to hop over the defender, got a yard on the play. Luke Kuechly, the middle linebacker, the tackle.
Both these defenses feel like they can stop the run with just a standard 7-man front, which means they can be more creative in the secondary. But both also felt like they had to put pressure on the quarterback, and we've already seen Carolina in that previous play bring an uncharacteristic DB blitz. That tells me that they're not sure they can get home with their 4-man rush.
There's 2nd and 8. Jarius Wright is in at wide receiver, number 17. Pass to Wright. He catches and goes out of bounds at the Carolina 43-yard line. Looks like he's got it up for another first down. He does.
That's the type of throw that Carolina can't allow Matt Castle to make. One on timing. He's very good when he can get to his 3, 5, 7-step drop. They've got to get him to hold the ball, get him off that timing, or he'll slice him up, just like he did the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 weeks ago in London.
Felton back in at fullback. Following him is Adrian Peterson. There's a flag on the play. Peterson gets down to the 40-yard line. Looks like it's going to be against Carolina.
Offside. Defense number 90. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's on the defensive end, Frank Alexander.
And those are the little kind of penalties. You say, well, it's only 5 yards. Well, that makes it a 1st and 5. Well, you know what? I'm a pretty good play caller with 1st and 5 because I've already gotten a 5-yard advantage. This opens up the playbook for Minnesota. If they want to take a vertical shot here, they've still got a very workable 2nd and 5 if they don't convert.
2 tight ends in, Carlson and Rudolph. The play fake. Castle steps up and throws too high. It's intercepted. On the return, Mike Mitchell, the safety. And he is shoved toward the sideline and out of bounds. But a big interception as Castle overthrew his intended receiver.
Well, they took that shot I was talking about, but obviously here the ball sails on him, goes over the top of the defense, intended for Craig Jennings, and it's a turnover.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
So the Vikings turned it over. Mike Mitchell, who had an interception last week in the game at Arizona, picks up another one. His second as a member of the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton, the quarterback, from the 38. Newton throws, and he overthrows it. It was almost intercepted. Tried to hit Steve Smith. And almost intercepted by the safety, Jamarcus Sanford.
Well, let's go back. You're going to see Greg Jennings at the bottom of the screen here, but I want you to watch Luke Kuechly. He's the reason the ball was thrown high. Kuechly, one of the best 3-down backers in the game now. He gets the kind of depth needed to force the ball high, intended for Greg Jennings, and that allowed Mike Mitchell to get underneath the ball, playing center fielder in that Carolina defense.
Flag thrown on the play. Sets Carolina back 10 yards. It's still first down. It's 1st and 20 for the Panthers as the crowd gets loud. And Newton works out of the shotgun. Quickly outside of Steve Smith. Smith is pulled out of bounds by Chris Cook, who's back in the lineup after missing the last game in London. Cam Newton has thrown only 6 touchdown passes this season, 5 interceptions, and has been sacked 15 times, 13 of those 15 on the road.
Yeah, and that's the tough dilemma today. You can see those numbers, the difficulty on the road in a building that can get very, very loud and can wear you out come the 4th quarter.
Panthers scored only 6 points in last week's game in Arizona. The penalty, by the way, was illegal hands to the face on Ryan Khalil that set Carolina back. Short pass, D'Angelo Williams out of the backfield, brought down up at the 39. Time for a game break, and for that, let's go back to L.A. to Kurt Menefee.
Nick Foles getting a start for the Eagles in place of the injured Michael Vick. He runs it. Vick, 4-yard touchdown, opening drive of the game. Eagles up 7-0 on Tampa. Sam, Brian, and Laura.
I promise you, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that was the one play they weren't ready for Nick Foles to run.
That's right.
The quarterback draw.
That's right. Here's 3rd and 9 for Carolina. Vikings showing blitz. All the linebackers up. Here they come. Newton is hit and brought down. Chad Greenway got there. There's a flag downfield, or upfield, I should say. Let's check it out. Over near the Minnesota sideline. Ron Winter is our referee.
Holding. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. and a first down.
Well, that wipes out the sack and gives Carolina a first down.
Well, just a bump and run on Steve Smith, and he can force you to do this. Getting off, that's a clear hold. As he starts to spin out, he's got a hold, wastes an excellent sack by the front four of the Minnesota Vikings. Cam Newton having the problems you just alluded to, Sam, in terms of being sacked under pressure. He talked about having to get the ball out earlier. That salvages the drive for them with the holding penalty.
Ryan, this is Cam Newton's first game ever played here in the Dome in Minnesota. What are your thoughts about what he faces today?
Well, it's going to be new for him to deal with this crowd noise, although the crowd is a little subdued right now. They need to crank this thing up. It's not so much dealing with the noise on a play-by-play basis. It's the fact that it can wear you out come that fourth quarter. That's what he's got to be prepared to do to keep his level of energy up and the focus for his team up after having been worn down by this crowd that is unusually quiet right now.
They got the clock in motion. First down Carolina at their own 44-yard line. Mike Tolbert is in at fullback. The draw play to D'Angelo Williams gets him a couple of yards on the play. Pick of 2. Desmond Bishop in on the tackle. Take a look at Carolina's key men on offense.
Well, Travell Wharton is starting on the offensive line for the injured Emili Silutalu. D'Angelo Williams, that's where the running offense goes through. Greg Wilson and Steve Smith are obviously the go-to guys in the passing game, but what this team hasn't been the last couple of weeks is explosive. They need Steve Smith to get a big play down the field.
Brandon LaFell, Ted Ginn Jr., and Steve Smith. 3 wide receivers in. And a draw play to D'Angelo Williams again. This time a bigger gain into Minnesota territory to the Vikings 48. How about the key men on defense for the Vikes?
It starts with the rush on the outside by Jared Allen and on the inside by Kevin Williams. We've already seen that pressure. Chad Greenway kind of holds it together as the communicator. Harrison Smith is the guy that can roam center field. We've already seen an interception and a near interception with quarterbacks that can overthrow those intermediate targets.
Harrison Smith, second-year safety out of Notre Dame. Had a real good year last year. Here's a big 3rd and 2 for Carolina. Newton being pressured, rolls away. Jared Allen chasing, and Newton picks up a first down, steps out of bounds at the 41-yard line. He can make a lot of plays with his feet.
This is obviously where he is lethal in the gun. Normally you expect some read option here on a short 3rd down. He's clearly down the field, getting good rush on the outside as Allen, but he collapses inside. You cannot let Cam Newton break contain, because this is exactly a Jordan Gross, longtime veteran. He thinks he can get inside. He's given up the edge, and you cannot do that against Cam Newton. Jared Allen knows that.
At the Minnesota 41-yard line, a first down. Then Hartsock in the backfield, a tight end to block. Newton throws and it's batted down. Good play by Brian Robinson, the defensive end, who just this week signed a 4-year extension for a lot of bucks.
Yeah, $28 million with a $13 million signing bonus. He just earned a little over there. When you look at these big ends at Robinson and Allen, they're both 6'6"ish. You know, Robinson is 6'4". That's big paws getting it up in the air. Cam Newton, who tends to throw a little bit of a flat ball, is subject to that.
Steve Smith on the sideline. 2nd and 10 for Carolina. Ted Ginn shifts. Ginn and LaFell the wideouts. Mike Tolbert carrying. Trying to break the tackle, but holding on was Jared Allen by the ankle, and he wouldn't let go.
Jared Allen, one of the best in this league. Obviously, he can transition. This is the one thing you don't want. I don't know if I want to see a lot of Ted Ginn blocking Jared Allen, but occasionally you have to motion in. He had the slow play. You can get away with that if you have to slow play the read option if you're not sure if Cam Newton's going to keep the ball or not. I'm still not sure I want Ted Ginn.
Yeah, you're right about that. 3 wide receivers in, Tolbert in the backfield on 3rd and 7. Draw play, quarterback draw. Cam Newton looking for that first down line. and comes up a little short. They'll spot it at the 32. Looks like he's a yard short. He gained 6 on the play.
Ron Rivera is going to go for it. You're on the road. It's a loud venue. You found yourself now getting close to the red zone. I've got an athletic quarterback, and I'm a good running team. Why wouldn't you go for it on 4th and short?
Ron Rivera, whose team has started 1-3 for the 3rd consecutive year. Here's a 4th and 1. And Newton steps back, calls time. No score in the game. Carolina Panthers with a big 4th and 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
4th and 1 for the Carolina Panthers. They have Mike Tolbert and Richie Brockle lined up in the backfield. They have 2 tight ends to the left. Tolbert, the power back, goes for the 1st down. Went over the top, down to the 30-yard line.
That's a scary proposition on short yardage. How many times do you see this? They're all packed in there. They're going to get this thing stopped. If he can get to the 2nd level, which he almost does, if he can stay on his feet, it's nothing between him and the goal line except one free safety in the middle of the field. How often do you see that? A back bouncing out of a short yardage and going the distance. You just got to stay on your feet.
Right. 10th play of the drive for the Panthers. Tolbert and D'Angelo Williams in the backfield. Williams bounces it outside. Hit hard as he gets across the 25-yard line. Jamarcus Sanford just coming back from an injury, and Aaron Henderson, the middle linebacker, combined on the stop.
Yeah, this is just a little quick counter to the weak side. You're talking about big backs in Tolbert and Williams. Oh boy, Sanford knows right there. This is the law of physics. Mass equals force times velocity. He's bigger. I better be faster.
Do I have to call you Professor?
I know.
Billick
I'm
now?
pulling these out left and right. I gave a physics lesson last week, and Tom didn't like it.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 4. Newton waits, throws to Williams. 1st down and more. Inside the 15, out of bounds, near the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at the 11. Little safety valve to D'Angelo Williams.
And this is the thing Cam Newton wants to get better at as he sits into the pocket rather than forcing balls down the field that leads to the interceptions. I'm going to drop the ball underneath. What is happening is they're doing more and more in that, and they're not getting as big plays as they've had in years past. 2 years ago, they led the league with 90 plays of 20 yards or more. Right now, I think they're last or next to last in the NFL in generating big plays.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Tolbert in the backfield. And a toss to Donald LaFell, the wide receiver, who gets down to the 5-yard line, stepped out of bounds at the 3. Nice little play. They shifted LaFell into the backfield, and they picked up 8.
They like what they see in Brandon LaFell. They think he can be the legitimate counterbalance to Steve Smith, and he has the kind of athleticism. You can see here now red zone efficiency for the Carolina Panthers, and the Minnesota Vikings have had some difficulties in stopping people once they get into the red zone.
Second down and a long 1, 2 tight ends in. Greg Olsen and Ben Hartsock. There's D'Angelo Williams. Gets down close to the 1-yard line, maybe a little short of the 1st down.
A lot of people are constantly asking as you look around the league, what does it take to be good in the red zone? You see some pretty good teams that struggle once they get into the red zone. Well, what's the key? I always come back to the ability to run the ball. The Carolina Panthers, as we see here, whether it's a reverse or running straight down the throat of the defense, are pretty good at running the ball. I'd imagine on 3rd down, you got to make a choice here. Do I play fake it because they know I want to run, or do I hand it off to my big physical back?
They've got big bodies in there now. It's Tolbert, hit short of the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by Chad Greenway.
Now here's the dilemma for Ron Rivera. He went for it on a 4th and 2 further out. Why would you not go for it here? Once you've committed, again, you see all the bodies. Red zone or goal line defense, you've got to make the conscious choice. Am I going to stop the run? Or am I going to stop the pass? They chose to stop the run. Carolina bore the brunt of it in trying to run the ball.
And they are going for it. Now they can make a first down without getting a touchdown here. The ball spotted about the 2.5-yard line.
We got to see something out of Cam Newton here, likely. He's got to call timeout.
Another timeout.
That's 2 he's had to burn now in this first quarter.
It's loud down there. Cam Newton calls a timeout. 4th and a long one coming up.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. By Wells Fargo. On your phone, online, on the go. Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done. And by Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
I like that roller coaster, Brian. There comes 4th and 1.
2 timeouts on 4th down. That tells me Ron Rivera maybe hasn't communicated to his coordinator going in. You're in 4-down territory. He may have surprised his guy that they're going for it. Therefore, they had to call the timeout.
They go out of the shotgun. Smith motions. Newton looking, gets blitz, throws, touchdown to Steve Smith. Cam Newton got plenty of time and waited for Steve Smith to come open, and the Panthers drive in for the score.
He's going to see Steve Smith. You got a lot of bodies just crossing one another. Looks like crossing traffic in the crosstown traffic. All of a sudden, he pops out the other side. Got a lot of picks going on the inside. Cam Newton just had to wait his favorite receiver out to come out of the backside for the touchdown.
2nd touchdown reception of the season for Steve Smith. That was a drive of over 9.5 minutes for the Panthers, their longest of the season. Extra point by Graham Gano is good. Carolina converted a 4th and 1. And then on 4th and 1 again, it was a touchdown pass. Mike Mitchell on the left had the interception. Steve Smith at the end of the drive had the touchdown catch.
It seemed like a lifetime ago when we had the interception. That was such a long drive by the Carolina Panthers, particularly on the road. You got to love that, simply because going the length of the drive means you execute it on 15 plays with all the external crowd noise included.
Cordero Patterson watches the Gano kick go through over the end zone, and a touchback. Matt Castle needs to redeem himself.
Offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave, I got to tell you, this is the smallest play card I've ever seen in my mouth. I couldn't get away with one that small because it wouldn't have covered my big mouth. I needed a full sheet. That's the smallest play call sheet. He's a former quarterback. He's used to reading one off his wrist.
Vikings 2nd possession. Peterson stopped in the backfield by Chase Blackburn, the linebacker. Chase Blackburn took over as the starting weak side linebacker a few weeks ago.
Well, we talked about a team that does not pressure a lot with its linebacker or secondary, but we're seeing that changed up a little bit because of the running game. They have to bring more pressure to stop the running game of Adrian Peterson and the Minnesota Vikings.
Loss of 4 on the play, back to the 15-yard line, or the 16. Here's Peterson again. He's taken down by Luke Kuechly, the middle linebacker. Tonight it's game 2 of the American League Championship Series at Fenway Park. Tigers won last night 1-0. What a game. Red Sox were no hit into the 9th inning, threatened in the 9th. Tigers held on, lead the series 1-0. Game 2 tonight, following football, only on Fox. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver on the call. Here's Castle stepping up. Outside of the tight end, Kyle Rudolph, and he's shoved out of bounds by Luke Kuechly and Captain Mutterlin. Rudolph and Kuechly played against each other in high school in Cincinnati. and then again in college with Kuechly at BC and Rudolph at Notre Dame.
A lot of good football players coming out of Ohio. I was born in Ohio. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
My daughter went to Ohio State. My other daughter lives in Ohio now, so I'm Ohio concentric.
It's a wonderful state. Jeff Locke is in the punt. He's wearing number 18. He had been wearing number 12, but he gave it to Josh Freeman. On the return, Ted Ginn slips and is brought down at the 25-yard line. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole will have complete highlights and analysis from ALCS Game 2, a full day of NFL action, the new college football rankings, plus everything else in the world of sports. Don't miss Fox Sports Live every night only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com now.
Is there a better month as a sports fan than October?
Hard to beat.
You got the baseball, the NFL's in full flush.
Hockey is going. Basketball preseason. You're right. Here's Carolina again, starting from the 25. They empty the backfield. Cam Newton steps back, in trouble. Got out of trouble, throws deep, a little too high for Steve Smith. Covered on the play by the rookie Xavier Rhodes, the rookie out of Florida State, first-round draft pick.
Now, I know he's doing this on the run, but that's one of those throws that I talk about. Cam Newton, if I could give him something as a gift, it would be to just take a little off some of these balls. Needs just a little bit of arc. On that one, he could have dropped it over the trailing defensive back. Might have had a big play.
2nd and 10. They split the tight end, Greg Olsen, to the right side. Ben Hartsock, the second tight end left. Here's D'Angelo Williams turning the corner. Nice big gain for Williams. Across the 45, up to the 47-yard line. As we come to the end of the first quarter, Carolina Panthers, who struggled offensively last week in Arizona, off to a good start. End of the first quarter, Panthers 7, Vikings nothing. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman here in Minneapolis. Glad you're with us for the NFL on Fox as we start the second quarter. First quarter ending on a 22-yard run by D'Angelo Williams. I like the Carolina offense so far. What do you think, Brian?
Well, so far it's going according to script. They get a turnover, a 15-play drive, then a 3-and-out by their defense, and now they got a nice drive going. They can take over this game all but early in the second quarter with a scoring drive here.
From the 47 out of the shotgun, little read option, and Cam Newton held on to the ball and was dropped for a loss. Well played by the Vikings, Everson Griffin.
And this is the way a lot of people want to play it now. Forget the handoff. If the quarterback has the ball, I don't care if you get the right guy, blow it up. Make the quarterback pay for running these read options that we're seeing in the NFL right now.
Loss of 4 on the play. Make it 2nd and 15 now. Loss of 5. Here's Williams, and he slipped and fell. Never got started. Time for another update. For that, back to L.A. to Kurt Benefield.
Here's Matthew Stafford throwing it up, and Joseph Fourier going up and getting it. The tight end only has 5 catches all year, but 3 of them are touchdowns. And he's got the goofiest celebration maybe in all of football. 7-0. They lead it in Cleveland. Sam, Brian, and Laura.
That's a young man out of UCLA, Sam, we saw in his first touchdown catch. His dance then, it hasn't improved, but it is entertaining.
That's right. It hasn't improved, you're right. 3rd and long for Carolina. Have to get to the Vikings 43. Empty backfield. Pressure on Newton. He steps up, completes to Donald LaFell. He gets down close to the 45. Looks like he's short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Ron Rivera kind of went for it the last time in this situation. A little bit further out, but looks like now they're choosing to go ahead and punt the ball.
Brad Nortman comes on as Cam Newton heads to the sideline.
Now, if I'm punting here, this is one my punter better put it well inside the 20, or he and I are going to have a talk.
Right. Nortman, the second-year man out of Wisconsin. Marcus Sherrills is deep from Minnesota. Good high kick. Sherrills waits for a fair catch near the 10-yard line. Vikings take over, down 7-0.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating.
Back in Minneapolis, the Vikings start from the 11-yard line. Their third possession. Adrian Peterson squirts his way through, tries to get outside. Boy, he squeezed through a narrow hole and turned it into a nice gain up to the 22-yard line.
Well, you get that sense that Adrian Peterson, you're just waiting for that big run, and he almost had it here, just like we talked about with the Carolina Panthers on a short yardage. They're all bunched up in there. If you can get past that first wave of defenders, that's dangerous territory for the Carolina Panthers if Adrian Peterson sees too many of those open fields.
Gain of 11 on the play. 3 wide receivers in. Jarius Wright is the third. Jennings motions. Castle steps back and changes the play. Short drop. Out for Cordero Patterson. And the first-round draft pick is stopped at the 27-yard line. Big story early in the week, the signing by the Vikings of Josh Freeman, former first-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And the Vikings made it clear in no uncertain terms that he will be the starter in the next 2 weeks, or within the next 2 weeks. Could be next week, could be in 2 weeks against Green Bay. You don't bring a guy in, pay him $3 million, which is more than you're paying your starter and your backup to begin with the idea that, well, maybe we'll start him, maybe we'll play him.
Patterson took the short pass, avoided one man, but was buried at the 25-yard line. Mike Mitchell in on the stop. Meanwhile,
well, right, I always worried about this. When I see the mouthpiece of a player still in the head and up in the helmet, you know, a lot of little things to get keys in this game. The way you put your hand down, how high you are in your stance. If I see the mouthpiece in the helmet, that tells me you're not carrying the ball.
Peterson to the sideline on third down. Castle steps up, runs for it, and lunges for the first down line, and it looks like he's come up a little short. Good effort by Matt Castle, but didn't quite get there.
Luke Kuechly, we can see here, has really developed into one of the best 3-down linebackers in the game. By that I mean he's stout on first and second down against the run. He can cover you on third down. Really one of the bright young stars of this league.
Jeff Locke to punt it away. Ted Ginn Jr., number 19, back deep for Carolina. Long, high kick. Ginn backs up to the 9. Slips one man. And he's taken down at the 18-yard line. Larry Dean on the tackle. 66-yard punt. 6-yard return. And now meet your Fox Tuesday night starting lineup.
Seth Green, Daz, yeah! Jake Johnson, New Girl. Ike Barinholtz, the male nurse on The Mindy Project. Yeah. Terry Crews, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah!
All new comedy starting Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. Pretty good lineup.
Yeah, I take the last guy, Terry Crews. Okay, if we're handicapping on who's going to take who, I go with Terry Crews.
What's that down there, Brian?
Yeah, this is where they do the legendary Polaroids, which, you know, we can have it all on live action on the iPad now, but the league thinks that's too mechanical, and we don't want to get too mechanized, so we're still working off Polaroids, all the advanced Polaroids.
D'Angelo Williams carrying across the 20 up to the 22, a pickup of 4 on the play. D'Angelo Williams, the leading rusher for Carolina, but with 7 carries, 40 yards. You saw Cam Newton 6 for 8, 49 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 catches in the game for Steve Smith. 2nd and 6. And they empty the backfield. Newton gets time, and his pass is caught by Greg Olsen up to the 30-yard line. It's a first down. Olsen has become a big threat offensively for Carolina. He was good in Chicago. He's been even better with Carolina.
Well, he's the go-to guy in between the numbers. You've got Steve Smith on the outside making big plays. Greg Olsen, like most tight ends, got to get those tough yards in between the number. He's been there, and you can see, like you're seeing here, they move him in and out, almost like a wide receiver.
Out of the shotgun, Newton going underneath to Steve Smith. It's up to the 35-yard line. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in the NFL, there are many, many stories. Certainly, D'Angelo Williams, honorary starter of the Charlotte Walk. Greg Olsen, who founded a foundation, Receptions for Research. Dominic Hickson's mom, a breast cancer survivor. Chase Blackburn, with founding the Blackburn Chasing the Cure Foundation. Saw Chad Greenway. So many of the players involved because so many people affected. On the handoff, Big Mike Tolbert rumbles across the 40 and up to the 34. Down to the field, Laura Oakman's got an update. Laura.
You bring up all this pink for the reason for all this pink. Look no further than D'Angelo Williams. All of this began because D'Angelo called the league office in October asking the commissioner if he could wear pink gloves, pink shoes to honor his mother, grandmother, and 4 aunts. All of them had breast cancer. Only his mother survived. He now has 2 sisters, a daughter, another daughter who will be born in December. He says, I think of them every time I hear a story, how this initiative has changed the life, and I hear a story every day.
Thanks, Laura. Everybody out. Newton gets rid of it quickly, but it's broken up. Nice play by Chris Cook on Steve Smith.
Sam, both these teams love to play a passive secondary. By that I mean with a 4-man rush. I can sit in a loose 2 deep before a cross, but they recognize that's not going to work today. So watch the back end a little bit. We're going to watch in terms of Minnesota. You're going to see whether it turns out to be Jamarcus Sanford or maybe they're going to walk up Harrison Smith. But these safeties, this is what Cam Newton is watching. He's watching down the field. He's watching the secondary way back into here. Do they stay in 2 deep, or do they come down the box like we just saw Harrison Smith there? And now I'll take my shot to the outside.
For Ted Ginn. Ginn working against the rookie Xavier Rhodes, and Rhodes came up limping. Oh, he looked like he may have turned an ankle. Oh boy. Now he's holding that left leg. Xavier Rhodes, a first-round draft pick, 25th overall.
Well, Cam Newton saw that single high defense I was talking about. That means one-on-one on the outside. So he put up the deep pass to Ginn, and then at the last second can't quite see where he does it. But it looks like he just comes up. I don't know if it's a cramp, an ankle. We'll find out. Xavier Rhodes, one of their 3 first-round draft choices this year. They're waiting for these young guys to show up. Rhodes primarily in nickel. Sharif Floyd gets into the rotation on the defensive line. And Cordero Patterson still waiting to have that impact in the offense that they envisioned when they took him with the first-round pick.
The medical staff checking Rhodes, who gets up limping along the sideline. And that doesn't look good at all. Rhodes getting a chance to play. A lot of people would like to see him in starting at cornerback, but he and Josh Robinson have been rotating.
Well, anytime you take a player in the first round, the expectations are, yeah, he ought to be starting, if not now, then for the future. And he's an excellent player. He's got that size that you look for in the type of defense Minnesota runs, where you play a lot of cover two. You ask your corners to be big, physical, reroute receivers, and also can be a factor in the running game.
Saw the numbers. Carolina's run 26 plays thus far in the first half. Minnesota only 14.
And that's exactly what Carolina wants to do here on the road, is see if they can wear down the defense of the Minnesota Vikings. We said both these teams believe they can stop the run with just a standard front. Right now, Minnesota's struggling a little bit, so that's why we've seen in the last few plays more pressure, bring the safety down. That's where it presents the potential for a big play down the field.
And you mentioned it before, the crowd has been quieted. It's not been a factor at all in the game.
I spent 8 years here. I loved it. This is a very intimate stadium, and by that I mean the fans are right on you. There are none better in terms of cranking it up. But there are times they can get quiet. Right now, this crowd's got to recognize that they can impact the game. They got to make this tougher on Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers.
Players are trying to get him to get loud. 3rd and 10 for the Carolina Panthers. Mike Tolbert in the backfield with Cam Newton. Newton, late blitz. Brandon LaFell with a catch, and he's ridden out of bounds. I believe I may have called him Donald earlier, and I apologize for that. Brandon LaFell, who is really developing well into the number 2 receiver.
Just what I talked about. They can't get home with 4-man pressure. They brought 6 people, which opened up the coverage underneath. Chris Cook can't keep up with Brandon LaFell. When you got a guy just running flat across the field with no help underneath, that's a lot for a corner to do.
They needed 10. They got 11. First down, Panthers at the Vikings 45-yard line. Tolbert and Williams in the backfield. D'Angelo, flea flicker. Newton swings it out to Greg Olsen. And Olsen picking up good yardage and a first down inside the 35. Well, that was a little trickeration play.
Yeah, normally when you see this little pitch back or flea flicker, you're looking for a shot down the field. You're going to see he hands the ball off to D'Angelo Williams. He pitches it back to the quarterback. But Minnesota was in that loose zone I talked about. There was nothing there. I give Cam Newton a lot of credit, unless, boy, if that's a design screen, I got to tell you, I've been in this game for 35 years, man and boy. I've never seen a screen set up off of a flea flicker. That's pretty creative.
First down at the Vikes 34, pickup of 11. Dominic Hickson is in at wide receiver to the left. D'Angelo Williams turns the corner. Nice play by Aaron Henderson, the middle linebacker, coming across to take down D'Angelo Williams. Gain of a yard on the play.
Yeah, let's go back here, and you're going to see as he comes into it, you've got a standard spacing group here. You got 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. Look how deep the safety is back here. Sanford is on the other side. And as he goes to pitch back, he's looking down the field, and right now he comes off. It's a screen. And you know a screen. Why? Because those big linemen are out in front of him. That clearly was a design play. Like I said, I've never ever seen it set up off a flea flicker, and may never again, but it did work.
Carolina had a 15-play drive earlier. This is the 10th play of this drive. Newton to put it up. And they got him. A flag on the play. They may have grabbed the face mask. Sharif Floyd took down Cam Newton.
Yeah, where it clearly was a hit to the helmet, whether it was a face mask or any kind of hit to the head of the quarterback.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense number 95. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
That's a big, costly penalty.
Yeah, tough one for Sharif Floyd. Look, he's just battling. All of a sudden, he's reaching up and grabbing anything he can. This play took a long time to develop. It gets wadded up. It's almost an incidental penalty, but clearly you get a hold of the quarterback. Of course, Cam Newton right there is not thinking that's so incidental.
That's right.
He darn near turned my head around. But anytime you hit the head of the quarterback, whether it's a face mask or a blow to the head, it's going to bring about a flag.
The ball spotted at the 24-yard line. Here's Newton taking it around the corner with a couple of blocks. And he runs out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Right at the 15 is where he stepped out.
Nice play design by Mike Shula. Said everybody, it's a Dr. J principle. Remember Dr. J?
Yeah,
great.
sure.
Put everybody to one side of the court, open up, let them go one-on-one. Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, does a great job, obviously, in that play of putting everybody to one side, throwing a little play fake that side, and I'll take Cam Newton out the backside.
When Rob Chudzinski went to Cleveland, Mike Shula was the quarterback coach here with Carolina. He's taken over as the offensive coordinator. Has a good rapport with Cam Newton. Here's 2nd and 1 at the 15. Mike Tolbert, he just bulldozes ahead inside the 10-yard line, just across the 10. First down, Panthers. It'll be 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line.
The offensive line of the Carolina Panthers, Jordan Gross, Travell Wharton, obviously starting this week. Ryan Khalil, Chris Scott, Byron Bell. I tell you what, these guys have done a good job today in terms of pushing the front 7 of the Minnesota Vikings, and no more so than here in the red zone. And you can see here Cam Newton's in some select company in terms of the yards that he's producing.
On 1st and goal, D'Angelo Williams. He's met right at the line of scrimmage. Chad Greenway with a big hit on D'Angelo Williams, stopping him in his tracks. And there's an injured Viking down on the field. Looks like Desmond Bishop, the linebacker.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
Carolina's owned the football here in the first half. 17 minutes, 37 seconds. Time of possession. Here's Desmond Bishop. Oh, he's upset and in some pain as he goes to the sideline, being checked out by the medical staff. Yep. 2nd and goal at the 10. 3 wide receivers in. Shovel pass to Mike Tolbert. Holds on. Pulls his way into the end zone. Mike Tolbert, a touchdown. A power run by Mike Tolbert for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
Quarterbacks love this play because it's just a trail underneath of the outside Cam Newton. This goes down as a touchdown pass, even though it's little more than an extended handoff. And that's a big man, Tolbert, all 200. It says 243 pounds. I ain't believing that. He's 260 if he's a pound.
I stand corrected on that. That is a touchdown pass. So it is a receiving touchdown for Mike Tolbert.
They have dropped a flag here. I don't know.
There's a flag in the end zone.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Taunting. Number 98, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
Things not going right for the Vikings. That's the defensive tackle, LaTroy Guion, who's assessed the penalty for taunting. Graham Gano for the extra point. 2 long drives by the Carolina Panthers here in the first half. Graham Gano's kick is good. A 15-play drive led to a touchdown. Now a 14-play, 82-yard drive. Tolbert takes the shovel pass and bulls his way in. Cam Newton found a Carolina fan.
I see a purple.
There
Saw
you
that
go.
Carolina blue. Good eyes.
Cam Newton with a souvenir for a young Panther fan. Right now, the first half being dominated by the Panthers. 2 long scoring drives, 2 touchdown passes for Cam Newton. And Graham Gano kicks one into the stands on the kickoff. So the Vikings, who have really been quiet, they haven't gotten anything going. What about that taunting penalty?
Well, it happened in here, and for the life of me, of course, we can't know. Clearly it was something that was said because there was no action. He's talking either to the official. My guess is it looks like he's talking directly to the official, and the official took exception to whatever it is he said.
With that penalty, it was Gano easily kicking it through the end zone. Vikings start from the 20. Adrian Peterson, 5 carries, 12 yards in the game, and here he is. Trying to find some running room, gets across the 25. He picks up 6 on the play.
We talked about Carolina's ability to kind of come in here and have confidence in the front 7. Minnesota thought the same thing and has been victimized by the running game of the Carolina Panthers. So far, Minnesota hasn't been able to crank off that big play in the running game that you expect out of Adrian Peterson. You got to give credit to the defensive line in the front 7 of the Carolina Panthers.
Jerome Simpson out to the left, off the play fake. Castle rolling and throwing and completes it to Greg Jennings up at the 34-yard line. A first down for the Vikings. Jennings, who had the big play against the Steelers in London, a short pass that he took 70 yards on the pass and run.
Well, Matt Castle told us that he knew, given the pressure that Carolina can bring with its front 4, they were going to have to get outside the pocket a little bit. Not something Matt Castle majors in, but clearly we've seen 3 plays already where by design he's gotten outside the pocket to throw the ball.
2 tight ends in, blitz coming. Davis got there. Thomas Davis untouched with a sack on Matt Castle.
Well, I told you that this Carolina Panthers team is not a team that typically brings pressure beyond its down 4. So Davis on the line of scrimmage coming from the outside. The offensive line totally ignoring him. You can see Adrian Peterson trying to work back, but he got gobbled up on the inside. They brought 2 people from the outside from the linebacker level. 1 too many for the Vikings.
Loss of 7 on the play. Here's Castle out of the shotgun. Out to John Carlson, the second tight end. Hard collision with Quinton Michael, who's starting at safety. Robert Lester, who had started the last couple of games, the rookie safety, who's out with an injury, with a hamstring injury. Pickup of 8 on the play for the Vikings. Matt Castle, 7 for 9. Adrian Peterson, 19 yards. Rushing in the game. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Carolina Panthers with a 14-0 lead on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings with the ball at their own 35-yard line, the 3rd and 9. Castle works out of the shotgun, steps up under pressure and finds a man. It's Jerome Simpson, a first down up at midfield. That was an important completion because the Vikings haven't been getting much going offensively, Brian.
Yeah, and they need to come up with more big plays like this. Carolina has dominated the time of possession, running the ball literally down the throat of the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings aren't necessarily built for the big play, but they've got to come up with some, all but in a 2-minute, to try to change the way this game is going, because right now the efficiency in the passing game and the running game aren't there for the Vikings.
Now, I don't know about the emotions of Adrian Peterson. Certainly we talked about that at the top, but he hasn't gotten much going in this game. Here's Castle for Peterson underneath. They wrap him up. Short pickup on the play. Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly combining.
Well, Minnesota has all their timeouts up here, so they've got plenty of time inside the 2-minute with 3 timeouts left. Matt Castle can use those timeouts to get better play calls and use whatever time he needs to get in the scoring position.
Blitz coming. Quick pass to Jerome Simpson outside down to the 43-yard line of Carolina. Pickup of 5 on the play. Josh Thomas, the cornerback, on Jerome Simpson. Hurry up offense. Castle with time, throwing deep, complete to Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, at the 24-yard line. Good throw by Castle. Quinton Michael covering on the play. Now the Vikings on the move. From their 20 down to the Carolina 23-yard line. Castle outside of Rudolph, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Picked up a couple on the play. Now we will go to the studio to Kurt Menefee to check out what's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll get you all caught up on all the early game action, including the Kansas City Chiefs trying to stay perfect this season, while the Steelers are looking for their first win of the year against the surprising Jets. That and more on the Visa Halftime.
Guys seem ready, right, with their feet up on the desk. I like the way Kurt walks through the doors. He's official. Deep drop. Screen pass. Incomplete. Off the hands of Adrian Peterson. Late flag comes in. Ron Winter will give us the call. Against Minnesota.
Eligible man downfield on a forward pass. Offense number 75. That penalty's declined. Makes it 3rd down.
It's on Matt Khalil. The left tackle. The penalty decline brings up 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Good numbers on this drive for Matt Castle. He's hit a couple of big passes to Simpson and Rudolph. They rush 4 outside to Peterson. Tripped up, stayed on his feet, showing great balance. And let's see where the spot is. It's right at the 1st down line. And he's got it up for the 1st down. Picked up 8 on the play.
Peterson just swings out. Matt Castle looking down the field. Carolina got very passive in its secondary, so not a bad option. Just say, nope, I'm not going to force it down the field. I'm going to drop it off to the best running back in the National Football League and get me another 1st down.
Vikings with their best offense of the game. John Carlson in at tight end. Lines up in the backfield. Peterson on the handoff. There's room to run. Inside the 5. And he's brought down. The ball came loose. Did they strip Peterson of the ball? The officials checking it out. Panthers say they have it. Vikings pointing their way.
At one point, they're all right. We'll see what it is to end up with, but
still Vikings ball.
The fact that it came out at all is so rare for Adrian Peterson. This guy, one of the strongest upper bodies, legendary handshake. The ball definitely does come out, and it looks like there was possession there. Look,
wow.
it's changed hands 3 and 4 times just before it even ended up hitting the ground.
Captain Munnerlyn pulled it out,
and it looked like it landed on him, and he had it right here. It was sitting on him, and then Adrian Peterson continued to battle, move the ball around. The ball then comes out. Munnerlyn can't get control of it. I don't know if he has control there or not, but once the scrum starts, you got all sorts of people. Jarius Wright is in there on top of it. Adrian Peterson still pulling.
And we should point out it's a play that is not reviewable. You know, they go into that mad pileup and anything can happen.
I don't know what you'd review.
Yeah.
Bunch of bodies, unless you can get a camera coming out from underneath the turf.
Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report. The guys are in the studio getting ready. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They've got all the scores and highlights around the league. 13th play of the drive for the Vikings. 2nd and 1. Off the fake. Castle in trouble, completes it. But short of the 1st down, completing it to Greg Jennings. Almost a desperation pass for Matt Castle. Don't forget, tonight after football, we've got a great football doubleheader. We go to baseball. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series at Fenway Park. Last night, the Tigers won Game 1, 1-0. Big Game 2. Buchholz and Scherzer, the starting pitchers tonight. That's a good pitching matchup. That's after football right here on Fox. Here's a 3rd down and a long one for the Vikings. Out of the shotgun, Castle. Being rushed, puts it up deep for Rudolph. He was out of bounds, didn't get both feet down. He made the catch, but both feet not in bounds.
Well, put up a jump ball off the rim. The 6'6" Rudolph over the top of Quentin Michael. Just couldn't quite get that other foot down. Ball needed to go up just a tad sooner, but that's the kind of options you have when you got a 6'6" tight end with some ups.
Blair Walsh, who was bothered by a hamstring injury this week, did not kick on Thursday or Friday, will attempt the field goal. High snap, and the kick is good. The Vikings get on the board late in this first half. A 23-yard field goal for Blair Walsh. And the Carolina lead is 14-3 for Adrian Peterson. This day has started full of emotion. Arriving at the stadium, of course, the tragedy over the weekend. His 2-year-old son was killed, and he decided to play. He has had some good runs, but not enough of them to get the Vikings going. On this drive, he made 2 good plays that almost lost the football here, but the Vikings got it back in the pylon. What are your thoughts about the emotions and what he might be going through, Brian?
It's so tough, and obviously all the players on the field around the league have such empathy for, you know, it's like I always say, it's why movie stars marry other movie stars. You're the only one that have those shared experiences. Everybody on this field, everybody in the NFL can appreciate what Adrian Peterson is going through and can appreciate that these 3 hours may be the only respite he has from this terrible tragedy. For, you know, obviously since it happened and for weeks to come.
The punter, Jeff Locke, kicking off. And taking a knee was Ted Yin. Brian, you've, having coached in the league and coached some great players, but you've dealt with tragedies as a coach. How do you handle it? How do you get the players focused to play?
It reminds you of the fact that these guys have lives outside of their jobs. We had Jamal Lewis, a phenomenal return man and receiver for us in our Super Bowl run. We played the New York Jets. They had to win the game to go to the playoffs. We were already in. He had 2 returns for touchdown after his son was stillborn the week before. Unbelievable emotional experience for the team, for the community, and for the fans.
The Carolina Panthers, great first half. For the Minnesota Vikings, they've got to pull themselves together and come back in the second half. 14-3 Carolina at halftime. Here's the Visa halftime show. It starts right now with Kurt Menefee. Always fun here in Minnesota. Top star is getting ready. Tough place to play, but Carolina has made the most of it. With a good first half, they lead 14-3. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman back here in the Dome in Minneapolis. Thoughts about second half adjustments for both teams, Brian?
Well, for Carolina, just keep the run pass balance they've got going right now. They're chewing up the clock. They're doing a great job with it. Obviously, for Minnesota, they've got to get more explosive down the field. They've got to get some big plays down the field because right now the little chunks aren't working, and they've got to get some pressure on Cam Newton. He's way too comfortable in the pocket. They may have to get out of their comfort zone and bring some of those linebackers and DBs. They're not getting home with just their 4-man front.
Let's take a look at the recap, some of the highlights of the first half. An interception thrown by Matt Castle.
Yeah, a little bit of an overthrow, and this started the tide for Carolina.
15-play drive. They converted a 4th and 1, Mike Tolbert, and then on 4th down, the touchdown to Steve Smith.
Yeah, converted on 2 4th downs to get the score there, and then a little shuffle pass to Tolbert to tap it off for 14 points in the first half.
Take a look at some of the numbers in the first half. Dominated as far as time of possession was concerned for Carolina. Better than 18.5 minutes, 11.5 plus for Minnesota. Vikings started to get something going late in the first half. Good drive. They settled for a field goal. Can they build off of that, Brian?
Yeah, they can, but it has came in the passing game. In the running game, for Carolina, this has been so physical against this front seven of the Minnesota Vikings. They've got to come out of their standard front in order to stop this running game, because they're just chewing up clock, chewing up yards, and it's leading to points. And right now, Minnesota's got to counter that with a good orchestrated drive of their own, or with a big play down the field.
And Cam Newton has really played under control. Laura Oakman is down on the field. Laura, what's the update at halftime?
Let me start with Ron Rivera, who said offensively, the difference between last week when they had no offense and this week, he said, we're finally doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're moving the ball. We're completing drives. We are finishing what we start. Defensively, he said the key is tackling. He said the biggest difference with that last drive was not tackling 28. We can guess that. He said we had guys in position, but they were in position with an arm tackle. You cannot bring Adrian Peterson down with an arm tackle. We tried it. He blew through. We've got to make sure he doesn't get on track.
No yawning, Ron. You can't yawn during the game. You got to stay sharp. There's Adrian Peterson. 2 men back deep for Carolina. Ted Ginn Jr., number 19. Armand Smith, number 36. Carolina deferred at the start of the game. Jeff Locke is kicking off. Carolina receiving to start the second half. Here's Ted Ginn on the return. Swinging wide. Got by 1 man. And Josh Robinson takes him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Cam Newton, not huge numbers in the first half, but as I mentioned, under control. Kind of sure passes in that first half.
Very efficient as well. We talked about Minnesota needs to get more big plays down the field. Well, Carolina hasn't had a lot of big plays. They've just been consistent. Minnesota desperately needs a 3-and-out here, and that's going to be hard against this Panther team. Panthers are currently second in the NFL with fewest 3-and-outs, and so far on the day, they've been pretty good.
They line up with Greg Olsen in the backfield, the tight end, and Ben Hartsock. 2 tight ends and Tolbert. That pass batted down. There's that low trajectory pass that was easily batted down up front.
And he's lucky that one didn't get through, because had it, as much as they love to bat the play down, you can see it gets knocked down in the end. But standing in behind it, Marvin Mitchell was standing right there. He thought he was going to jump all over it. They may have had an interception there, but you're not going to turn down this. You can see right there Mitchell's going, wait a minute, I had this.
Brian Robinson was the man who knocked down the pass. Carolina from their own 14. Again, Tolbert starting in the backfield. No D'Angelo Williams. Here's the play fake and the keeper by the quarterback, Cam Newton, across the 20 up to the 21-yard line. Last week, Panthers put some good numbers up in the first half. Didn't finish drives. They only had 6 points. But in the second half, they were totally shut down offensively.
And that's what Ron Rivera talked to us about. You heard him in his report to Laura Oakman. They have got to finish. They couldn't finish against Seattle with the fumble in the second half. Against Buffalo, they got confused in coverage and gave up a touchdown. Against Arizona, the drops and the interception. They got to finish in this second half.
They pick up the rush. Newton throws wide open. Brandon LaFell. Big gainer. He may go all the way. LaFell is in. Touchdown. 79 yards.
Huge play by Ted Ginn down the field to spring Brandon LaFell at the last part of it. That's just blocking for one another. You're going to see out here on the outside, they got 2 by 2. They're down the field. They run a little switch-up route with LaFell on the outside. Now watch Ted Ginn coming from the top of your screen down and blows it up to allow Brandon LaFell to get into the end zone. That's working in combination with one another at the receiver position.
Longest pass play of the season for the Carolina Panthers on a 3rd down play. 79 yards. And Brandon LaFell's 3rd touchdown reception of the season. Graham Gano's extra point. They stopped the play, the whistle blowing and flags flying.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Complete the try.
3 touchdown passes in the game now for Cam Newton.
Yeah, one was a little cheat shuffle pass, but he still gets it. And I want to be very clear here. I said Minnesota desperately needs a 3 and out. I didn't necessarily mean that way to get to a 3 and out.
That's right.
It needed to be 3 and out and no score.
Carolina comes out flying in the second half. Gano's extra point is good. Cam Newton and Brandon LaFell, they combine for the touchdown, and Carolina leads 21-3.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Carolina Panthers have done exactly what they wanted. They've gotten a lead, and now they've forced Minnesota to try to come from behind. Will that take Adrian Peterson and change his role in this game?
Well, at least on this first drive, right now, what Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, and the Minnesota Vikings need is one good, solid scoring drive. They haven't had that other at the end of the half. Preferably a touchdown, a well-orchestrated drive that gets them back in this game.
Let's go to the sideline to Laura Oakman. Laura, what's happening?
Well, that drive, of course, usually starts with number 28. Leslie Frazier said that is the key right now. Get Adrian Peterson going, get him on track, which means we'll keep feeding him the ball, and we need to get completion so we see more 2 deep and less 8 in the box. Defensively, Desmond Bishop, linebacker, out for the rest of the game with a right knee injury. Same knee he had surgery on that ended his season early last year.
Thanks, Laura. So the numbers on Adrian Peterson: 7 carries, 28 yards. Here's Castle of Peterson. Slip, tried to get outside. They got him for a loss.
This front seven of the Carolina Panthers has a great deal of confidence staying with just its 7-man front. Laura just alluded to it, that Leslie Frazier says we got to get Adrian Peterson cranked up, but this is just a standard 7-man front. Good solid play on the outside by the ends Hardy and Johnson, and on the inside Starluta Lele and K'Wan Short, who's in there a great deal. Their first and second round draft choices make it very, very difficult to run in between the tackles.
Colin Cole is in there as well, playing for the injured Dwan Edwards, who's out again, and they've done a terrific job as the Vikings having trouble sustaining much offense. Cordero Patterson comes out. There's the 3rd and 7 for the Vikings. Crowd has been silenced for most of this game out of the shotgun. Matt Castle, blitz coming. Castle in trouble. Davis has him again. Second time Thomas Davis has gotten the sack on Matt Castle, who juggled the snap and had trouble getting a hold on it.
And again, the linebackers coming. This is not something that Carolina does a lot of. They've committed the linebackers. We saw earlier Davis got home at one point. We've seen Luke Kuechly come through as well. This is not something Carolina makes a living at, but because of the pressure they're able to bring with their down 4, wanting to put pressure on Matt Castle. We said they wanted to get him off his spot, not let him get comfortable with his 3, 5, and 7-step drops.
Jeff Locke with the punt. Ted Ginn Jr. from the 36. Trying to pick up a block on the outside. He's out of bounds near midfield. Carolina Panthers doing everything right. Offense is clicking. Defense did the job as well. Career high 104 yards receiving for Brandon LaFell. The big one, the 79-yarder for a touchdown. And now from the 47-yard line, the Panthers begin offensively. 3 wide receivers in. D'Angelo Williams, and he's stopped for a loss. Good play by the middle linebacker, Aaron Henderson, and Josh Robinson in as well for the Vikings, who need a big stop here, Brian.
Yeah, they need a turnover. They need to give their offense a short field, because right now their offense has not shown any ability to move the ball with any kind of consistency or with big plays down the field. So beyond just stopping them, they've got to get a turnover here at some point.
Again, 3 wide receivers. Ginn, Smith, and LaFell. Greg Olsen, the tight end, shifting off the fake. Newton to Ted Ginn. Boy, he rifled that pass in. It's a first down for the Panthers at the 37. Hard throw and a good catch by Ted Ginn Jr.
We talked about the mechanics of Cam Newton, but when he gets going here, you're going to see the mechanics here. Very comfortable in the pocket, has balance. This guy's got unbelievable physical skills. And when he doesn't rush his fundamentals, you can see he just subtly stepped away from the pressure to get the ball down to Brandon LaFell. If he gets into a comfort zone, and right now Cam Newton looks like he's in a comfort zone, that could be lethal for the Vikings.
12 for 17 in the game. Under pressure, gets rid of it to D'Angelo Williams, and he's down to the 30-yard line. He's got big hands. Watch him hold this football.
Yeah. I mean, he just envelops the ball. Reminds you of a Brett Favre, who just looks like a Nerf ball in his hands. That gives him great control. As I've said before, he tends to strong arm things a little bit. That's when he gets a little heated in the pocket. But so far, just like we've seen, when he's comfortable and in rhythm, he can be lethal with the way he is accurate and can make all of the throws.
Big numbers for Cam Newton. 2nd and 3. He's got two running backs in the backfield. Williams carrying, finds the hole, and has a first down at the 20-yard line. Mixing up the run and the pass well. The two safeties combined on the tackle.
And that's just what a throw down the field does. Remember how they last scored. You now get a light box, which means Minnesota Vikings got passive in the secondary, having to account for the passing game, and now you just don't have enough bodies to stop this running game with the big physical D'Angelo Williams shoving it right down the middle of the defense of the Vikings.
For the Vikings, the rookie cornerback Xavier Rhodes, who limped off the field in the first half, is back on at left cornerback. First down, Panthers at the Vikings 20. Crowd restless right now. Quick outside, caught by Smith, gets a block from LaFell, and trying to make something happen, but there's no gain on the play. Time for an update. Let's go to the studio in Los Angeles to Joel Klatt for that.
All right, thank you, Sam. Here's some Bluebirds there in Minnesota, and the Bluebirds are out in Houston. After a quick third-quarter touchdown, St. Louis on the ensuing kickoff gets the fumble recovery for a touchdown. 31-6. The Rams are up on the Texans. Sam.
Houston, we have a problem.
That's right.
Wow, I don't know if anybody saw that coming. Houston Texans are struggling to put anything on the board now.
Danger of going 2 and 4. Screen pass to D'Angelo Williams. Has a blocker in front of him and gets down to about the 11-yard line.
Nice job with the screen to the left. I want you to watch the left side of the offensive line orchestrate this. Looks like that little counter, and then they wait, and release, and then get big Jordan Gross out in front of D'Angelo Williams. Just a one-man screen. Very diverse set of offensive plays by the Carolina Panthers right now.
Safety Harrison Smith shaken up on the play, limped to the sideline to be checked out by the medical staff. 3rd and 2 Panthers at the Minnesota 12-yard line. Andrew Sendejo replaces Harrison Smith at safety. Newton keeps it. He's got a first down. He waited long enough for something to open up and put that big body across the first down line.
Well, one of the difficulties in the red zone is you've got a numbers advantage defensively because the quarterback is kind of eliminated from the equation in most instances. It's huge when you have a quarterback that can run those kind of plays in the red zone. We've already talked about that if you're going to be good in the red zone, you got to be able to run the ball. When you have a quarterback that can do those types of things, it puts a lot of pressure on a defense.
1st and goal, Panthers just inside the 10. That's Ben Hartsock, the second tight end of the backfield. Newton keeps it he had nothing going on. He was about to get hit, so he went to the ground, gave himself up.
And I'm fine with that. If I'm going to expose my quarterbacks to a bunch of hits. Last time we had Carolina, they said they'd like to get him maybe on somewhere between 8 and 9 plays a game where he's actually carrying the ball. That doesn't necessarily account for scrambles, but called runs where they don't want to do much above that in terms of exposing him to hits.
2nd and goal at the 11-yard line. Tolbert and Williams in the backfield with Cam Newton. 2 wide receivers. D'Angelo Williams jumping through the hole and getting down to the 7-yard line and pick up a 4 on the play. Panthers have been inside the red zone twice in this game and scored touchdowns both times. Right here, they've got a 3rd and goal coming up at the 7.
When you talk to defensive coordinators around the league, as we do, the number one thing they want to be good at, there's a lot of things, 3rd down percentage, pass per play, but it's always the red zone. That's the number one thing they want to be good at in terms of preventing teams from getting touchdowns in the red zone instead of field goals.
Spread the offense. 3 wide receivers in. Newton with time gets away, and he's in for the touchdown. There's a flag on the play. They may have held Brian Robinson on the play, but we'll check it out. There was some pressure on Cam at the last moment. He got away. Let's see.
Personal foul. Contact to the head of the quarterback. Defense. The result of the play is a touchdown.
There you go.
15-yard penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
That's insult to injury there. Big, strong, physical body like Cam Newton. You're not going to bring him down with one arm. You got to grab hold of everything you can. And right now, the Minnesota Vikings aren't buying into it. They're going, how do we get this big guy down? A lot of bodies pushing around. Someone got they got a hand on the ball, but no, they're wrong there. They missed it. They got their hand on the ball. He dipped his head, securing the ball. Nice job by Cam Newton, but there was no hit to the head there.
I agree with you, Brian. The extra point by Gano is good. It is a big day for Cam Newton. He has 3 touchdown passes. Here he gets away and runs it in. Minnesota Vikings defense has been ripped up for 28 points, and they lose one of their starters, safety Harrison Smith, going to the locker room with a foot injury. For Cam Newton, another good drive, 10 plays, 53 yards. He finishes it off with a 7-yard touchdown run, his 2nd touchdown run of the season. And with a penalty giving Gano an extra 15 yards, he puts the kickoff into the stands. Cam Newton took a hit, gets away. Good times for Cam and the Panthers. They're up 28-3. This is the 6th possession of the game for the Vikings, the 5th time they've started from their own 20. The other time they started at the 11.
Yeah, and they just haven't shown the ability to go the length of the field, hence the observation they need to get the big plays down. I know they want to get Adrian Peterson cranked up. They may not have time here. They may have to get the ball down the field, passing the ball.
There goes Peterson. He breaks through.
Or do that.
Here he goes. And he is brought down by Mike Mitchell, the safety.
And right on cue, Adrian Peterson makes me look silly.
1 play, 31 yards.
And you'll take the big plays any way you can get them. We talked about getting into that 2nd level. If you can just get past that initial front 7, and all of a sudden, boom, this is the last thing any DB wants to see, Adrian Peterson out into that 2nd level.
Quick outside to Greg Jennings, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and an injured player down for Carolina. Panthers had their backup defensive lineman in the game. Wes Horton, a rookie out of USC. Frank Alexander at the ends. The rookie K'Wan Short and Sione Fua were in the game. That's Melvin White, the rookie cornerback that's shaken up on the play. I think his teammate Frank Alexander may have hit him as he was trying to help out on the tackle. For the Vikings, 2nd and 10 at the Carolina 49-yard line. Castle working out of the shotgun with Adrian Peterson in the backfield with him. Rushed, and he throws, and it's dropped. Dropped by Jerome Simpson, incomplete. Time for an update. Back to the studio to Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
And the Lions trying to come back against Cleveland. Reggie Bush takes the little pass, 18 yards for the score, pulls them to within 3 on the road at the Browns. Sam, Brian, and Laura.
You got to give the Cleveland Browns a great deal of credit. They trade off Trent Richardson. Everybody, including myself, said, boy, this is going to be the end. They're just going for next year. Since then, they're reeling off some pretty good football.
Yeah. Lions 3-2, trying to keep pace with the Bears. Vikings 4 for 8 on third down conversions in the game. Castle swings it out to Peterson, and with good strength he pulls the defender with him, Drayton Florence, and he's got a first down. Good effort by Adrian Peterson.
And notwithstanding another big run by Peterson, this is how he's going to impact this game right now. He's caught a couple balls out of the backfield. He's caught more balls today than I think I've seen all year long, primarily in the end of the first half in that 2 minute. But him coming out of the backfield could be a lethal weapon for Minnesota and trying to come up with those big plays to get him back in the game.
At the Panthers 38-yard line, everybody out. Castle for Simpson, off his fingertips, thrown a little high and a little behind him. And Castle looks like he's just keeping the seat warm. That's Josh Freeman. He came in this week. He did some work. He did some throwing, not with the starters. And before the game this afternoon, he was warming up down on the field, throwing a lot of passes.
Well, there's no question he's going to end up the starter here. They've got the New York Giants next week, then the Green Bay Packers. Talking with the Vikings, you got a sense that maybe that Packer game may be when they are thinking he might be able to take over the reins.
Castle outside to Jarius Wright. Short pickup down to the 36. Last year with Tampa Bay, he had a great game here in the Dome for the Buccaneers. It was the worst loss of the season for the Vikings, who went 10-6. What a great effort by Josh Freeman.
He had 3 touchdowns. Now 2 of them were 2 and 3 yards, and then the last one's a little screen that went like 60 yards on a little throw, but not taking anything away from Josh Freeman. He had a good day here.
Certainly had to impress the powers that be here. Simpson made the catch, tries to get away, slipped, and then he's brought down by Josh Thomas, short of the first down. Is this 4-down territory?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're at the point in the game right now, but in the third quarter, and we're sitting here with the score 28-3. This is a long third down to try to convert. You're probably on the edge, particularly with a ailing Blair Walsh. The punt only yields you so much, so yeah, why not go for it here on 4th down?
And that's what they're doing. They have to get to the 28-yard line for a first down. Deep drop. Castle rolls. He's pressured. Up for grabs, and it is incomplete. Intended for Greg Jennings. The ball hung up there. 2 defenders on Jennings, and the Vikings turn it over on downs.
Kind of a desperation throw on a 3rd and less than 10 with a deep shot down the field. It's as though they thought they could move the safety with the action. You're going to see Matt Castle. I don't know if it's by design or he gets to the right, and just as he goes to launch this thing up almost like a punt, takes a shot from Thomas Davis, and now that's a 2-on-1, low percentage making that thing happen.
So the Carolina Panthers, the offense has clicked, the defense has done its job. Matt Castle back to the sideline to check things out, but right now the Vikings in a deep hole. Greg Olsen motions on first down. D'Angelo Williams brought down by Chad Greenway. Short pickup on the play for Carolina today. They put up some good numbers, starting with Cam Newton, 15 for 20, 196, and 3 touchdowns. D'Angelo Williams has run well. Brandon LaFell had the 79-yard touchdown reception. And don't want to forget Mike Tolbert. He's been a contributor in this game with some important runs and the 10-yard touchdown pass Then he caught a shovel pass. Newton being rushed. That's caught by Brandon LaFell. He's out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Cam Newton having himself a good day. He's enjoying himself.
He is. This guy does enjoy the competition. You know, when you visit with the offensive coordinator, Mike Shula, he said something interesting. He said, you know, football makes sense to this guy, which means he's got a good football acumen. He always has a huge passion for the game. Sometimes I think people misunderstand that, but he's an ultimate competitor, and he enjoys what he's doing.
3rd and 6, Tolbert in the backfield with Newton. 3 wide receivers in. Newton throws for Steve Smith. What a grab by Steve Smith. It's a first down. Oh, fingertip catch, a beauty by Steve Smith.
And that thing had some heat on it. Watch, we talked about the big hands. This guy can put this thing on a laser beam. And that, look at that lead glove out there, just kind of brings it back to himself. Steve Smith's been a little quiet today. Brandon LaFell's been the go-to guy with the big plays, but in a critical time. Nice job, nice coverage by Xavier Rhodes. I'm not sure what else you can do. And when you look at the drives, this is pretty impressive here when you talk about the drives. It shows obviously efficiency with 14 and 10 play drives and a 3-play scoring drive to go 86 yards.
Angelo Williams trying to weave his way through the defense. No gain on the play. Ball just across midfield into Vikings territory. And it has been a dominant performance here by the Carolina Panthers. They had one other dominant performance this season when they beat the Giants 38-0.
Did that game, and it was taking nothing away from Carolina. I don't know if it wasn't more the Giants than it was the Panthers, but Mike Shula is doing a nice job here. The variety of this Carolina Panther offense in terms of power football, spreading it open, no back, read option. They do as much and have as much diversity in their offense as anybody in the league.
Newton drops it off to Mike Tolbert, and the big guy just rumbles for a first down across the 40. When you're expecting the wide receivers or maybe D'Angelo Williams, here's Mike Tolbert to catch the ball, and he's so hard to bring down. It's all Vikings as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Tolbert's been a contributor catching the ball and running the ball.
Well, it's all on the Vikings because right now it's all Carolina, and they've got it going their way on the road in a tough place to win.
Carolina Panthers 28, Minnesota Vikings 3, end of the 3rd quarter. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman down on the field. Any adjustments you want to make going into the 4th quarter?
Yeah, I got to make an adjustment. I got a text from my daughter at the end of the half. I talked about Jermaine Lewis and the difficulty he had at the end of our Super Bowl run. I think I called him Jamal Lewis. She wanted to correct me and also tell me she liked my tie.
Oh, I think
but only because she picked it out. Okay. So we're getting critiqued by a lot of people.
Terrific effort by Carolina as we start the 4th quarter with the Panthers on the move at the Vikings 39-yard line. Cam Newton fakes, looking, throwing deep, and overthrows Greg Olsen. Now this is a game where both of these teams are trying to stay alive in their respective divisions, both 1 and 3. And why has Carolina come so well and come out so strong?
Their offensive line has dominated the line of scrimmage. They've been able to keep the run-pass balance that every coordinator in the league loves to have. Cam Newton has stayed away from the big mistake in terms of turning the ball over. That formula is how they're built. It's the way Ron Rivera wants to win and bodes well for them if they continue to do that. They did pretty good against Arizona, except what? For the turnovers.
Right.
It was the evener.
Draw play to D'Angelo Williams. He's down to the 36-yard line. Now, Minnesota, 2 weeks ago, they win with a good win over Pittsburgh in London. They had the bye week. Usually coming out of bye weeks at home, they're pretty strong.
Well, just the opposite. Their front seven isn't holding up. They want to be a team that can win with their basic standard spacing front. Passive secondary, they can't do that. They got to get the linebackers and the secondary involved. That's not the way they want to play on offensively. Right now, at the quarterback position, Matt Castle can't do anything, it seems, to get them that big play or any continuity.
3rd and 7. Newton being rushed. He throws it, it's batted down. The flag in the backfield. Newton was taken down by Jared Allen. And after the whistle downfield, Steve Smith involved. He's always involved. He's such a feisty player. He was involved with Xavier Rhodes, the rookie cornerback.
Yeah, and that's a mismatch. I tell my rookie, you don't want to get into a war of words with Steve Smith. Trust me.
And the officials talk things over. Here comes Ron Winter.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 69. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 29 defense. By rule, those penalties offset. Repeat, 3rd down.
All right. The holding on Jordan Gross, the personal foul on Xavier Rhodes. See what happened in that matchup.
Well, obviously up here is where they're pushing the shoving. He's got him right now, and obviously a dead play, and just that little grab at the end. Steve Smith and this back and forth. There again, it's the retaliation. I don't know who started that, but the guy, and now once it devolves to this level, I don't know that there should be a penalty on both the guys.
So they do 3rd and 7 again. 3 wide receivers in. Tolbert in the backfield with Newton. Newton being rushed. Kevin Williams there. Newton gets away. There's a flag on the play. He throws it to Greg Olsen, the tight end. He's got enough for the 1st down. And he's down to the 23-yard line. Now let's check out the flag. Newton, a great job of escaping. There's a pickup of 13 on the play. Waiting for the call from Ron Winter.
Prior to the pass, holding, offense number 77. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
That's on Byron Bell, the right tackle. So that negates what would have been a 1st down for the Panthers.
You can see it down in here. And I don't know if that's a hold or a personal foul. And you just saw Kevin Williams. It shows you the strength of Cam Newton. And maybe as he finishes it off here. Yeah, here it comes. I think we just missed it. I think as he was pulling away, he got his hands on him.
Have to get to the 29-yard line of the Vikings for a 1st down. Newton outside. Ted Ginn. And he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Marcus Sherrills took him out of bounds. And the Panthers will be forced to punt. Their 2nd punt of the game. Brad Nortman comes out. Sherrills going back deep. Vikings need a spark in a hurry. They've got to make every possession count. Nortman kicks it high. Bounces at the 6. And the Panthers have it covered. So the Vikings are set back deep again. They haven't had much field position. Good punt by Brad Nortman.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Vikings field position has gone from bad to worse as they start at their own 8-yard line. Toby Gerhardt is in the backfield at running back. John Carlson motions. 3 wide receivers in the game. Blitz coming. Tight end screen to Carlson. He's brought down at the 11-yard line by Thomas Davis. Davis has played a strong game.
Minnesota going to the no huddle now, obviously in the 4th quarter with the down 28-3. You definitely, the clock's working against you.
Gerhardt stays in the game. Interesting move, though. Adrian Peterson here. And there's movement on the right side of the Vikings line for the load hold.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. remains second down.
And the fans are getting a little restless. Obviously, this is this is not what they're built to do. Let's go back to this fight. You can see Xavier Rhodes and Steve Smith, just a kind of a pedestrian move by Rhodes, but now they're back and forth. And then, of course, now Smith's got to come back and do his Howard Cosell blow-by-blow. And I'm going to tell you how that went. And nope, first down. So he's having fun with it anyway. Of course, he was the one that got called.
Pretty good moves. Here's Toby Gerhardt out of the backfield up to the 17-yard line. Thomas Davis in on the stop. Pickup of 10 on the play, and again, no huddle. Matt Castle has played the entire game at quarterback. The backup today is Christian Ponder, who has recovered from a broken rib and was given clearance to play. Castle throwing too high. It looked like Jerome Simpson stopped. And you could hear the crowd getting on the Vikings.
And they're preparing themselves for that transition. We talked about it. Josh Freeman's going to be the starter here in Minnesota. They conjectured it might be in a couple weeks against Green Bay. With the way this game's going, I'd be a little surprised if we don't see it next week against the New York Giants, given the way this half is gone. You got to get this guy cranked up and going.
You know offense, you know coaching quarterbacks. Can they get him ready to play that quickly?
Sure you can. You know, it depends on what you ask him to do. If Christian Ponder and Matt Castle had been injured and you brought a guy, a veteran like Josh Freeman in, you'd have played him.
Yeah.
You'd had a condensed game plan, turn around, hand it off to Adrian Peterson, a couple play fakes. Yeah, only because you had to. Now, because of the tincture of time, this is a smart guy. It's just a matter of getting the verbiage. You know, it's tough on Christian Ponder, obviously, to see all this happen, but you brought in Josh Freeman to get this done. And right now, the way this game's going, clearly the fans will be pushing for it to happen sooner rather than later.
Castle hit Kyle Rudolph with back-to-back passes. There was a flag on the play. I think Carolina may have been offside. Ball's up at the 34-yard line. Ron Winter checking with Leslie Frazier to see what he wants to do.
Offside. Defense number 91 lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties decline. Second down.
Colin Cole, the defensive tackle. It'll be 2nd and 1 for Minnesota. Castle. Audibles. The no huddle. 3 wide receivers in the game. Everybody out. Castle throwing to Joe Webb. The former quarterback makes the catch. Time for a game break. For that, back to the studio in L.A. to Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Green Bay Packers lost both James Jones and Randall Cobb to knee injuries in the first half, but Jordy Nelson proves how deep they are at wide out. 64 yards. He was wide open from Aaron Rodgers. 16-3. They lead it at Baltimore. Sam, Brian, and Laura.
Thanks, Kurt. That pass is intercepted by Mike Mitchell. His 2nd of the game. Big return down the sideline, and he's out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Matt Castle, 2nd time he overthrew his intended receiver. Mike Mitchell there both times to intercept.
Well, Mike Mitchell's just shagging fly balls here in deep center field. This is, like you said, the 2nd time that Matt Castle, the ball's gotten away from him over the top of a tightly covered Greg Jennings. Captain Munnerlyn all over him. Forced him to put the ball a little high. And now Mitchell, obviously the beneficiary of that, just catching that fly ball right down the middle of center field. 3
interceptions in the last 2 games for Mike Mitchell. 38-yard return. And it's a first down at the Vikings 21-yard line. And now they go Wildcat and hand it off to Ted Ginn. And he gets a block from LaFell on the outside. Cam Newton was lined up to the right side. They went Wildcat.
A little bit diversity,
there we
like
go.
I said. You know, this game is about 6 degrees of separation. You talk about in the 2011 draft, Cam Newton was the #1 pick. Christian Ponder, standing on the sideline here for Minnesota, was the 12th pick of the draft. And in between, you had Jake Locker at number 8, Blaine Gabbert, number 10. Shows you the fate of quarterbacks in this league from the first pick all the way through the first round, and question marks about the remaining three, whether it be Locker, Gabbert, or Ponder. You miss on a first rounder in the NFL. There's a first round quarterback in the NFL. There's a price to pay.
Newton completes to D'Angelo Williams. He's inside the 10. He's got a first down at the 7-yard line. So after they tried the razzle-dazzle play with a Wildcat and lost 3, this one picks up 17.
Watch Steve Smith. Maybe a little payback here. You want to be physical? I'll keep it illegal. Look at him peel back on Chad Greenway. That is brutal. You see a wide receiver. Typically, they're the ones that have to be cautious going over the middle. They love taking those shots on linebackers. Good legal hit.
And in the end zone, we have a Viking player down. That's Xavier Rhodes again.
Well, you can see what happens. Chad Greenway's looking that way, and he does not see Steve Smith. And that's a legal hit now. And you got, like I said, the receiver loves a shot like that. A competitor that Steve Smith, he's going over and say, hey, man, I'm just playing football.
5'9", 185.
That's right.
He used all of it. First and goal, Panthers at the Vikings 6-yard line. Richie Brockle lines up at fullback. D'Angelo Williams carries. Follows the block, gets inside the 5, close to the 4-yard line. Steve Smith has had a good ball game. Adrian Peterson, a lot of sadness in the eyes. Has started off as a day where he decided to play after the horrible tragedy of losing his infant son on Friday.
You talk about the emotional strain. That was just one, and obviously the most tragic example of it. But this Minnesota Viking team has been through a lot, physically and emotionally, beginning with playing a game in London. You know, they get off to an 0-3 start.
Here's Williams getting down close to the goal line. Looks like they'll spot it at the 1-yard line.
But they get off to an 0-3 start, and all the pressures that come with that. They have to go to London. They get a big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you come back, and right when you hope to get your ship righted and physically rested, get emotion back, they have to change at the quarterback position. They bring in Josh Freeman and the strain that that can put on a team. Obviously the tragedy that Adrian Peterson and this entire team goes through when something like that happens. Leslie Frazier recognized there's an emotional toll on your team, and right now, after what appears to be a one-sided loss, as Carolina's zooming in on another score, just adds another burden to bear to carry for this team.
Mike Tolbert carries into the end zone for another touchdown, his second of the day. This one a rushing touchdown, and once again the Carolina Panthers capitalize on the turnover.
And for a defensive team, a very proud defensive team like the Minnesota Vikings have been for years, to literally have the ball shoved down your throat, there's nothing more demoralizing. Anytime a coach takes a job, we all said the same thing. Well, we want to run the ball and we want to be able to stop the run. Because if you can't stop the run, then that takes the heart and soul out of any team. And right now, that's what the Minnesota Vikings are struggling through.
Carolina Panthers talked about finishing drives. They've been in the red zone 4 times. They've scored 4 touchdowns. Steve Smith showing some power with the block. And the Panthers ended with a touchdown.
Today's game is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Here's what's scary for the Minnesota Vikings as we see Cam Newton, who's had a great day. Vikings have now given up over 30 points in a game 4 times, and 35 today is the most. The fewest they've given up in the game is 27. Gano, another one through the end zone for a touchback. Cam Newton, he's all over the place. He's flying. Well, watch out for flying objects, Laura Oakland.
Yeah, Superman doesn't see Laura. We got to teach Laura a good forearm shiver here. Of course, he can't. He looked like Steve Smith coming on Chad Greenway. But I'll give her credit. He caught him from the side. She had no idea it was coming.
And Laura asked 2 questions in that interview. 1, 2. Cam went to the bench. Matt Castle outside to Kyle Rudolph, out of bounds at the 24-yard line, make it the 23. Vikings have had terrible field position throughout the game. They haven't, other than a good drive at the end of the first half, which ended in a field goal, they haven't been able to sustain much offensively. Off the fake, Castle. Catch made by Greg Jennings, but a loss of a yard on the play as Thomas Davis makes another good play. Davis has had a terrific game for the Carolina Panthers.
And there's a little John going on by the Carolina Panthers. And, you know, Ron Rivera talks about this, is a beautiful catch here. Just to reach back and grab it. That's beautiful. But, you know, Ron Rivera talks about, I want my team to be able to finish. Well, this is one of them. Not just in a close game, and to be able to keep the win or to drive the length of the field. You're up 35-3. How are you going to finish this game? Now, how are you going to deal with being ahead like this? Great job bringing pressure point. You're up 35-3 and bringing safety blitzes. They are feeling it right now.
That's right. Mike Mitchell with the sack, the third sack of the game on Matt Castle, and that's how they finished.
He's having a heck of a day. You can see him coming in from the outside. Just shows up right there. Free safety blitz. Up 35-3. Okay, as an old offensive coordinator, I might have exception to that, but it was very effective.
Mike Mitchell's had quite a game with 2 interceptions and a sack. Jeff Locke with the punt. And it drops around midfield, takes a Panthers roll. Vikings touch it down right at the midfield stripe. Minnesota Vikings haven't had much kick in their game. A lot of jump for Carolina. Back here in Minnesota, Carolina Panthers have had 4 second-half possessions. 3 have ended in touchdowns. At quarterback, Derek Anderson takes over. Second action he's seen this season came in the game against the Giants. That was a 38-0 win. That's Mike Tolbert carrying. Cam Newton with a superb game. 20 for 26, 242 yards, 3 touchdown passes, although one of them was a little shovel pass to Mike Tolbert. 9 rushes, 30 yards, and a touchdown running as well.
It's the most complete game we've seen out of Cam Newton in a while. Efficiency underneath, big plays down the field, and just enough runs to give a defense fits.
We talked a lot about the entire effort offensively. Mike Tolbert has been a good contributor, run the ball well, rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. He's been a big factor in the game. Richie Bronco lines up at fullback. Tolbert, the tailback, carries for a short gain. Bring up a 3rd down. Don't forget, we've got America's Game of the Week. Second game of our football doubleheader, followed by the ALCS Game 2 in Fenway Park in Boston. Tigers won last night 1-0. Game 2 tonight.
I just hope there's a TV on my flight back to LA tonight.
Oh, we got to have that. 3rd and 3 for Carolina. See the numbers for Cam Newton through 37 career games. No one has put up more yards. They stopped the play. False start against the Panthers. Panthers will be home.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Well, Sam, Fox tomorrow. It's everyone's new favorite drama, Sleepy Hollow, has critics raving. It's unlike anything else on television when a mysterious child is found from another era. Does he carry a deadly secret? See why everyone's hopelessly hooked on Sleepy Hollow. It's all new tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
I'm hooked.
I'm going to need the TV on my flight back to the East Coast on Monday.
Here's the carry by Armand Smith, second-year man out of Union College. Started to mention the Carolina Panthers home next week against the St. Louis Rams. Then a division game against Tampa Bay. They've got Atlanta coming up at home, another division game, go to San Francisco, and then home against New England. But they want to stay in the hunt for the right now what looks to be the wild card, because
I don't know
the
that
Saints are up top undefeated.
They're technically in the NFC South, but I think like a number of teams, they're now moving into the NFC wild card division, which teams like Carolina, Detroit, Chicago, although they're still within touch of the NFC North, a lot of teams looking at that wild card position.
High punt by Brad Nordman. Fair catch by Marcus Sherrills at the 11-yard line for the Vikings. They will be 1-4 following this game. They go on the road to play the Giants, who played Thursday night. Giants will be rested for that game, and they'll be looking for their first win of the season. Then division game against Green Bay, at Dallas, home against Washington, and at Seattle. And as Brian mentioned, the coaching staff telling us it looks like they are pointing toward that Green Bay game at least. Maybe sooner for Josh Freeman to take over.
I'm going to take a guess here, and strictly on observational on my part, has nothing to do with what anybody said or what we've seen. I think we may see him next week against New York.
Let's get another game break. Back to the studio in Los Angeles to Joel Klass.
All right, Sam, and Joe Flacco leading Baltimore right down the field. Jacoby Jones, 11-yard TD catch. His first game since week 1, first TD of the season, and Baltimore cuts it to 16-10 in the fourth quarter. Sam.
They've got an exciting finish coming up. Thanks, Joel. Matt Castle has gone all the way here, throwing to the one-time quarterback, Joe Webb. Webb with a good grab. And cheers for the first down as they picked up 11 on the play. Toby Gerhardt in the backfield with Matt Castle. Castle gets time outside, the ball dropped by Greg Jennings. James Dockery in at cornerback may have gotten his fingertips on it. Third-year man out of Oregon State. Let's go back to the Adrian Peterson situation. I mean, it's second guessing. It's hard to understand how much it might have taken out of the team because they wanted so much to lift him up.
Well, yeah, it's neither nor. Whether he plays, whether he doesn't play, it's going to weigh heavily on the team. It just is what it is. This team now has to emotionally get back up. And obviously now they're going to play an 0-6 New York Giant team, you know, that obviously comes in hurting, and you got to take advantage of that and find some way to muster your energies emotionally as well as physically to get back on this field.
Second half, previous games had not been good for Carolina. They were concerned about that, especially last week, but a strong second half today for Cam Newton and the Panthers. That completion to Greg Jennings is into Panthers territory. The helmet comes off. He looks to the referee saying it was pulled off by one of the Panthers.
Well, Ron Rivera wanted his team to finish, and this second half defines just that on all cylinders in what they were able to do.
Ron Rivera had his team ready to go as they have played an outstanding game here. Castle with time, going short. It's dropped by Toby Gerhardt. This building will be knocked down in the offseason, and the next 2 seasons the Vikings will play outdoors at the University of Minnesota Stadium, and then a brand new building will be coming up, and the Minnesota is a finalist for the Super Bowl in 2018.
Yeah, and I love this place. The 8 years I was here, give it another couple minutes, they can probably start knocking it down right now because this thing's about to empty out.
Easy. Wait till we get to the airport.
But this was, I know a lot of people criticize what Mike Ditka called this just a big roller derby dome or something like that. I loved it with my time here. Very intimate. The fans are right here. They're going to build a beautiful new stadium, but I'm going to miss the old Metrodome.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. One-sided game for the Carolina Panthers. Adrian Peterson watching sadly on the sideline. Vikings have been overwhelmed by the Carolina Panthers. Matt Castle under pressure. Gets away, and he's brought down by A.J. Klein, and the rookie 5th-round pick out of Iowa State, gained a yard on the play. Here's 4th down coming up for the Vikings. As time winds down, Carolina will go to 2-3, Vikings 1-4. And their road will become very, very difficult. Detroit is winning today. Chicago won the other night. Green Bay is winning today. That pass is batted down. There's a flag on the play. Looks like it may be against the Panthers here.
Illegal use of hands, man to the face, defense number 57. 5-yard penalty and a 1st down.
Jordan Sen, the man with the penalty. It's about much more than pink on the field. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society are helping women across the country make a crucial catch. Hear the personal impact stories and find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the NFL doing a great job, as they always do. Blitz on, pass outside to Greg Jennings, out of bounds at the 32-yard line. We've got continued football coverage coming your way. Following this game, we've got bonus coverage, the conclusion of the Green Bay-Baltimore game, then America's Game of the Week coming up following that, and of course the American League Championship Series tonight with Game 2, Detroit at Boston. Castle throwing, completing to Kyle Rudolph, and he's brought down at the 23-yard line. What are your thoughts about Josh Freeman and what he could bring to this team when he gets in as the starting quarterback?
Well, Josh Freeman has
excuse me.
been a quarterback who's orchestrated 10-6 season, where he's had 25 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So you've seen the big plays, the efficiency. He's also been someone over the last 2 years that has struggled mightily. One of the toughest things to do is to separate the abilities of a quarterback from what's going on around him. Clearly what was going on around him was not good.
Red Sox, Tigers, Game 2. Last night, Tigers won 1-0. Max Scherzer goes for the Tigers tonight. Clay Buchholz for the Red Sox. Big game, Joe Buck and Tim McCarver called Game 2. Rudolph getting away. Heading for the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. Way too late to mean all that much. But Rudolph showed some battle on that play.
He's an excellent athlete. They took a couple shots to him earlier on. This is a big athlete at 6'6". Excellent hands. And here showing a little athleticism. Kind of olaying the defense as it goes by and showing a little bit of speed going into the end zone. Good big target. We talked about Josh Freeman coming in. The big 6'5" Josh Freeman thrown to a 6'6" Kyle Rudolph is a connection the Viking fans can expect to see going forward.
Career high numbers for Kyle Rudolph today. 9 catches, 97 yards, and the 23-yard touchdown reception.
But to finish what we were talking about, Sam, Josh Freeman for the Minnesota Vikings, and what drew them to him was big, strong arm quarterback. Adrian Peterson's going to continue to be the focal of this offense, but a guy that can make that play fake, come out with great vision at 6'5", make the throws down the field. 2 guys like Kyle Rudolph to use Greg Jennings on the outside. That's what they're counting on from a Josh Freeman, and I think we're going to see it sooner rather than later. He's got to bring with him, though, the last couple of years and be able to put aside when the heat was on in the last 2 years. Josh Freeman has frayed a bit. That's where the turnovers have come from.
Will they have to cut down the playbook for him?
I don't think so. What we see in Minnesota right now is what? Give the ball to Adrian Peterson, run some play action fakes off it. From what we've seen today, Josh Freeman's been around enough. He's going to be able to verbalize this offense. Now, are you going to be proficient in a 2-minute offense necessarily? No. But like I said, it's nothing based on just personal observation. My bet is we'll see him next week rather than in 2 weeks.
And the question becomes, what does the future hold for Christian Ponder?
Like any first-round draft choice that has not been able to get it done, it's likely going to be with some other team.
Ted Ginn Jr. from the 4-yard line on the return. And he takes it out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. For the Carolina Panthers, had to be impressed with Cam Newton. Now the question is, can he do this consistently as he continues to mature? All you hear from Ron Rivera and from Mike Shula, he's maturing, he's getting better. He's really played under control today. I thought he played a great game.
And momentum is such a big part of the NFL. As we showed earlier, they're going to go home to St. Louis. I have that game next week where we get to see Carolina and St. Louis, team that's coming off a win, feeling good about itself. Then they go to Tampa Bay, a team that has struggled as of late. And then obviously the Atlanta Falcons, and God knows who's going to line up when they play the Falcons. They are so decimated by injuries. So they've got a chance to get on a bit of a roll here, and momentum is a big part of it.
For Ron Rivera, congratulations all around. Bonus coverage coming up. We're going to have the conclusion of the game in Baltimore. Green Bay leading Baltimore 19-17 with a couple of minutes left to go in that game. Later on, second game of our doubleheader, America's Game of the Week. Some of you will see New Orleans at New England. Others will see San Francisco 49ers hosting the Arizona Cardinals. It's all over in Minnesota. The two friends will congratulate one another. They're as close as can be. They talk once a week. Didn't talk this week. They were competitors. Ron Rivera bests his man. For Adrian Peterson, a sad day. He decided to play, and unfortunately his team was unable to overcome the sadness around the Vikings. But a big win for the Carolina Panthers. They defeat the Minnesota Vikings 35-10. For Brian Billick and Laura Oakman, this is Sam Rosen. Now it's time for the Pepsi Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee.